3 days after a fierce battle over his nomination ended, Justice Brett Kavanaugh joining his colleagues on the Supreme Court bench for the first time today, taking a seat on the far right side of the bench. This comes after a ceremonial swearing in last night at the White House, in which Justice Kavanaugh provided one of the classiest thank yous to President Trump by a public official.
Mr. President, thank you for the great honor of appointing me to serve as a justice of the Supreme Court. I've seen firsthand your deep appreciation for the vital role of the American judiciary. I am grateful for your steadfast, unwavering support throughout this process. And I'm grateful to you and Mrs. Trump for the exceptional, overwhelming courtesy you have extended to my family and me. Mr. President, thank you for everything.
Justice Brett Kavanaugh joining us now, Judicial Watch's president, Tom Fitton. Tom, good to have you with us.
Hello.
You were at the hearing room. You got to witness some of the acrimony, the venom, the viciousness of the left. Your thoughts now as you contemplate what the future of the court is with Justice Kavanaugh seated.
Well, I was honored to be there last night, so it was pretty cathartic to sit there and celebrate the victory of the rule of law over mob rule. And that's going to be the fight from now on. Are we going to let leftist violence run our government and run our country and intimidate
what are the Republicans going to do about it? Huh? What are they going to do about it?
Everyone knows what the phone number for the Republicans are and their senators are these days, 202-224-3121. Are they going to expel Senator Booker for violating the rules, as he admitted to doing? Are they going to investigate Senator Feinstein in a serious, ethical way to figure out if she leaked or people on her committee leaked information improperly on Dr. Ford? Are they going to clean our own house? It's one thing to have these leftists come in and intimidate and threaten senators, which is a whole other law enforcement matter, but the Senate needs to say, are we going to allow our own members to blow up the Senate? And that means
I've lost you here. Who are you? You're talking about Republicans?
I'm talking about Republicans and honest Democrats who recognize that there was a bridge too far in the Kavanaugh smear campaign.
A bridge too far? You've got to be kidding me, Tom. That was vicious, plain out, scurrilous conduct on the part of the left. You sound like one of those Republicans, for crying out loud, that you're trying to motivate. I mean, this is not a time for bridges too far. This is about what the Republicans are going to do about it. Are they going to look like the fat cats that they've become, or are they going to show some street smarts and get energized and organized and get the vote out on November 6th? I mean, you know, it scares me to watch you guys out there with your sort of, very laid-back approach to what is a real war. It's a war on truth. It's a war on this country. It's a war on our values. And it's not something where you say, call your congressman. It doesn't seem hardly adequate.
The senators aren't going to do anything if they don't hear from the voters, Lou. And I agree with you.
That's reassuring, too. That's reassuring.
The Senate, well, that's why I'm asking for the activism here. And to be clear, the left sought to overthrow the Senate these last 2 weeks. It was pretty serious, and it can't be business as usual from now on. And, there are only so many things within the Senate that can be done, but they don't want to do those basic things. For instance, Senator Booker, everyone knew he violated the rules. He admitted he violated the rules, and it was only Judicial Watch that came in and filed an ethics complaint against the guy. So it's important that the viewers push the Senate to do the right thing, because the other side is out there threatening them. They got to hear voices from the lawful as opposed to the lawless.
Yeah, I think that's well said, and I think you're exactly right, including the phone number. I also think that there's got to be a lot more done. We're looking at record registration numbers surging in Texas. Nobody knows who they are, how they're going to vote, or even if indeed, in many cases, whether they are lawfully going to vote.
Well, as president of Judicial Watch, I don't tell anyone how to vote or even oppose candidates, so I'll defer to you on that. But people
I didn't tell anybody how to vote.
People have to decide whether they're going to be active in terms of communicating with their senators, voting the issues that they care about. Right now, the big political movement in Washington, D.C. is one based on violence and intimidation, and you raise a fair point. Do our institutions here, are they prepared to defend themselves and the Republic from this assault?
Yeah, I think so. By the way, but now I am going to tell people how I really believe, I'll just put it this way, how I hope it comes out. I hope it comes out that the Republicans stave off this so-called blue wave that the left is reporting on in the national left-wing media. And I hope that there are an additional half a dozen senators who are Republicans who join the current Senate. I hope that there are maybe 20 extra in the majority of the Republican-controlled House. Does that seem clear enough, Tom?
It sounds very specific. I hope Republicans enforce the rule of law, no matter how many of them are. Yeah. Majorities are never enough. They need a backbone, as you point out, and what we need to do now is hold those accountable who broke the law and broke the rules, whether it be in the Senate or in the House. You have Maxine Waters advocating violence. You have Cory Booker happily violating the rules with the support of his colleagues. Something's got to be done to protect both houses from the violence from within.
How about Chuck Schumer? How about the Dick Durbin? I mean, we're watching a vicious Democratic establishment that is fully radicalized and radicalizing their party. Tom Fitton, always great to have you here. Thanks so much.
Welcome. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.